Narberth shuttle. I take the Narberth shuttle, which means a lot of the young families in the city will move out to Narberth because they know of Narberth. They love the town. The school system is excellent. I mean, all that's there for us. What's interesting is, though, it was always thought, well, once you live in the city, then you have kids, you come out to Narberth, but as you grow older, you realize Narberth is actually a great place to live here the rest of your life, and it's become that. And the housing prices, you're right, Katie, have increased. It's desirable. It's overtaken the cachet of Lower Merion. I mean, when people refer to Narberth today, in Philadelphia, there's Narberth. But Narberth is like the key.
But I think too, the other thing to make that I always think about with walkability and being here, and I mean, I moved here as a 35-year-old. That was a very long time ago, and I think part of the thing of walkability is with having downtown, you've got something to walk to, and that's for me the critical thing about walkability. Otherwise, we look a lot like sort of parts of Ballackinwood where they don't have a district, they don't have a place you can go shop unless you want to buy a mini. So that's that's I have an old car and I've driven it in a parade. You drive in Narberth, the height of the anticipation is everybody funnels downtown, and that's where the action is. When you drive the 4th of July parade in Ballackinwood, the action is all in the neighborhoods. You go downtown and it's a wasteland. And it really made you realize how really exquisite having this downtown is, and that to me is one of the things that it's the combination, it's the scale, it's the density, it's having some place to go, and it's having stores that have things that you need and want, and that all fits into it, and that's what's making me consider wanting to be here as an older person too, because I'll be able to walk around. I think I'd like to see more senior, the ability for seniors, how many senior communities you have to take a shuttle to go anywhere? Wouldn't it be great if we had a senior presence here? Maybe the Marion Estate. How great would that be? So I mean, part of this is kind of the visioning and the figuring out, where do you want to go as a borough? What do you want? What's valuable? And I think we should keep collecting people's thoughts, because it helps us to really decide where we want to push things, or where we think people would like to sort of take this. So, thanks.
And follow up on the conversation regarding apartment complexes. Apartment complexes play a key as well for someone downsizing who still wants to live in the borough and still make use of its amenities. So you really can't paint a broad stroke and say they're all bad. You can't say that.
I just quickly want to say I agree with you completely. That's why I love being on Narberth. I'm on Windsor Avenue, walking to the train and being able to get the train to the airport. That is so key, and I hope to be able to be here. Longer. But I think the problem that we're concerned about is that it's those suburban style houses that they're trying to build on our very urban environment, and that's what feels so out of place about them, and that's what's not gelling for us.
Yeah,
so if we can keep the
fence.
context and the scale of our borough, that is what everyone values, and the wonderful urbanness about our town.
I have lived in Narberth for a great number of years, and I plan to live in Narberth for please God many more years. And we all talk about it being a wonderful walking town. But I have to tell you, there are parts of Narberth where it's very difficult to walk because the sidewalks, people are not taking care of the properties, the bushes are growing over, you have to walk on the street. And I can always talk about the buildings and all of that, but I think what can be done to require that people, if they have hedges, trim the hedges, if they have grass on the sidewalks, they take it off. And the condition of the bridge in Narberth is a hazard. Where the Baptist church is, I don't know what's going to happen there. But something has to be done about the sidewalks, and something has to be done about the bridge, because it is a hazard. Not only to myself as an older person, but I think to a great number of people. Walking in the dark and over here in the evening, you have to be very careful of where to walk. And I've lived in Narberth for over 40 years. A wonderful home. I have an old home. I'm one of the old homes in the south side, which I love, but I would like that people take care of the properties.
If you see the hedges extending onto the sidewalk, you can contact the borough
Well, I
offices.
have done
and
that.
see-
My husband was in a wheelchair, and to vote, well, to get to the Baptist church was very difficult. We would take the wheelchair over, but couldn't go down streets because the bushes were overgrown.
And that's another thing we're really hoping will change, and I don't know if everyone's aware that there's something on the borough website now called See, Click, Fix, and I realize not everybody's using the internet for this kind of stuff. You should be able to call or walk into Borough Hall, but I realize that that's another area where it doesn't mean that anything happens just because you do that. But we are trying to move in the direction, as I understand it, of having this system where you can do that, you can walk in or call, but there's also on the website, See, Click, Fix, and you can enter something like that, which should be taken care of, and you can, I think you can submit pictures, is that?
Yes.
You can upload things as well, it gives you a status.
And I was just talking to someone who was talking about people just not shoveling sidewalks and how treacherous that is when someday it snows again. So, yeah, I think we'll have to stay on that stuff and insist that if something does happen, we bring it up.
Well, when I would pay my taxes, I would tell them about the hole in the bridge.
I hear you,
But
I know.
as a sign has been taken out, it's not there. It's been there for years.
We have a new borough manager, that's hopeful.
We're also getting a new bridge.
We're getting a bridge as well, so that's all. Anyone else have questions? Yes.
Not for tonight, but you mentioned in the slides about maintenance and the cost of people struggling to maintain older homes. And I don't know, anything could be done about it, but if you're in meetings, that might be addressed.
We've talked some about that, about maybe trying, and that could be a good function, because the thing is, Friends of Narberth History, we're only not even a year old, and we're looking for things that would be useful, and so we're kind of depending on people to let us know what they need, and we've talked a little bit about maybe trying to put some kind of a presentation series on different aspects of caring for homes, and, you know, how do you take care of your windows, how do you, you know what I mean, all that, because people are pretty much at sea, they're depending upon people to give them information, and usually if someone can sell you new windows, they will, whether you need them or not. So, you know, I think that's a kind of a good avenue, because we can deal with specific houses and, you know, get some workshops put together, and I think that's an area that would be helpful, and it sounds like that would be useful to you.
Answer all your questions? Thank you. Thank you also to the Narberth City Council.